Welcome to Moth, and look at the fantastic light on the trees behind me. Isn't that amazing? Got a lovely sunny day and the light is absolutely amazing. Look at that shadow and bright light, beautiful sunlight. And some syndicate locally is having a shoot, so that's what it's a large estate, deer estate near here, and they've obviously having a pot shot. Well, it's an absolutely stunning day. The view is amazing today. Hello everybody and welcome to Moth. It's a stunning day. Beautiful blue sky and it's not even cold. So we're going to have a wander into Moth, and I think we'll introduce everybody who's with us today, find out how they are, and then we'll have a little question and answer, and I think it's Afeanean who is going to help us today. So this will be lovely. Let's have a wander up. We'll go in through CEO's Way, which is just behind me. It's just because it's a gentler route up and less branches, perhaps. Okay, let's have a wander. So it's 1:10. It's a Saturday afternoon, and I don't usually come up here on a Saturday afternoon. I'm usually working quite hard. But it's such a beautiful day, I did not want to waste it. So we'll ask everybody how they are. First of all, I want to thank Amagaba because he has walked me in, as he does so often. So all this on here, all these big pockmarks, are because Farmer Joe has allowed his cows to trample through here, and they have done some damage. They have done quite a lot of damage actually. Look at this here. You can see the big hoof prints there, but look at this one. It's a new break. Now, when we're talking about glyphs, and people have they're quite amazed by the glyphs. I've had a lot of really interesting emails, and they say, how can you tell what is a glyph and what is a natural break? The answer is just assume everything is natural until you work out how would it happen naturally. So right in front of us, I've not actually seen this one before, but we have this. I've got to be careful because this ground is like a bog in front of me. So if I raise this up here, you might get a see the 3 dimensions aspect to that. So look there, and you've got 2 vertical here, and then 1 that goes right between the middle. That's not a really natural break. And then you get that sort of 3D style here. Been some kind of killing there, and a killing further on up there. Might be sort of part of the same creature. So let's have a look, because underneath this tree I saw some. I have to be careful again where I tread here. Wow. Wow. White feathers, big white bird. Could be a pigeon. My guess is that that's a pigeon. So it's a raptor that's done that, because it's sat on the perch there. It's nothing else, it's a raptor. So the remains of that carcass may have been dragged up there. So I think that's fairly safe to say that that is not anything other than natural. I'm trying to avoid these great big boggy patches, because you don't realise till you stepped your foot in it that you've sunk up to your ankles. So today, Afeanean is helping us out. I'm very grateful to Afeanean for doing so. It's very kind of her. And I have particular thanks to give to Afeanean and to Afeanean's oldest daughter, who's 41. This is Afeanean and Kaif's oldest daughter, and her oldest daughter is called Marima. And they do what's like reflexology, but on your hands. And it was very, very, so subtle, so unbelievably subtle, but very effective. And they clear any energy blockages within your body. And I thought that was lovely. How do they do it? Yeah, she's saying we do it with thought, Sally. We do it with thought. So they aren't clod-hopping through your bedroom or through your living room. It's done from wherever their particular place is, and they sit and do it through thought. So that was a welcome visit. So my next one is let's ask who's here with us today. And I want to start with the elders. And we know already that Afeanean is here. Is Kaif here with us? Yes, he is. How are you today, Kaif? Very well. He's saying very well. And if we move to Dacia Gea, are you with us today, Dacia Gea? No, I'm not at the moment, he's saying. What about Floria? Right, she's not far away, but she's not actually present. She is in mind. She is in thought, mind. And then Dasub and Igios. Yes, hello Sally, we're both here. Fantastic. Are you both well? Thriving. Thriving is the word. Then we have your bad cab, Yvette. So Yvette is not here today. I believe that Yvette's son is going to have, this is Kabim, him and his partner, Bada, are going to be having a baby shortly. So I suspect that that's one of Yvette Cab's little jobs that she's going to be looking in on. So, if we can move on to Abak. And he is away at the moment. He's visiting other families at the moment. And how are you? And Faba Sakwa. So Faba is quite busy at the moment. Making preparations. Did I hear the winter solstice? Preparations for the winter solstice? For the onset of winter. Yes, we are forecast to have quite heavy snow soon, actually. And the Scottish, lowland Scotland, where I am, usually gets its fair share. So let's start off with the children. And I know Amagaba has told me that every morning at prayers, or every day, not morning, every day when they have prayers, they can speak with Bidey and Sobey. And I believe that they're doing very well. And in fact, Amagaba said that he likes having a new brother like Sobei. Amagaba is very, very close to Seo. Of course, they're the closest brothers. And Seo is his mentor and teaches him things. And I asked Amagaba what has he been learning this recently, and he said transference. So how he showed me was that, or how he told me was, it was to do with transference of thought. So if I was asking a question about something, whatever it was, sometimes like Daciageia, Afeanean, or a back may show me an image, and I understand what they're talking about. Then I understand what they're trying to get at, and sometimes an image can be even more accurate than words, and that's what Amagaba is learning, this transference. So I then asked about Mebki. How's Mebki? So Mebki, I think, is going to assist. Are you going to assist Kabim and Bada? Yes, she is. She is. So this must be her vocation to help births, midwifery, if you like. And then we have Leola. I can hear Layla always giggles. She's a happy, happy girl. So Layla is learning language. I think I've told you this before. So how she transfers information, like the glyphs, that may not be necessarily left by the people. They might be left by elementals, and this is a big bridge to cross, and left by animals. The energy of thought is left by animals as well. And she can interpret that and learn how to read that. And then we had Amagaba, and then we have Gefeba and Abiba. And these two frequently appear as tree peepers. They're saying, we love it, we love it, we see ourselves on film. They're lovely, they are so full of fun. And then the youngest is Tababa. So, with that, folks, we will head up to the tree and see what's new. So, from looking in the bright sunlight, how long the shadows are, we're all in the dark, almost here now. Like I say, it's early afternoon. It's 1:10, and yet it's quite dull. But it's a beautiful day. Look at that. Look at the sky. So we're here at the gifting tree, and as you can see, there's a few bags left. So I'm going to take those off, and we'll have a scout around and find the others. I'll show you. See, they're lying on the ground there. There's one behind the tree. And plastic container there. That. We'll really have a very close look at the marbles. I'm going to take a still shot of that as well, because I think there's something in these marbles. There's a slit across the bottom. That's got a massive big hole. Look at that, my word. Look at that. Wow. at that. Put my hand right in there. That is massive. This has got a couple of holes on that side. Oh, a nice rip there, rip there. I'm not going to even look at that. That's just manky. I don't know if you have that word. It just means unpleasant. Hole in the bottom. Hole on the side. Look at this. Like a fried egg. So we've got one marble down here. Going to pick that up. Look at what it's in. Now, if you remember a few weeks ago, I made something that looked very like that. And they've put that right in the middle. I'll have to look the video up. I can't remember. It was like a noughts and crosses frame. And I'm thinking it was about 6 or 8 weeks ago. For some reason, I want to think of this as the Earth's axis. I've got 2 of these. These have been moved. 1 there. And then 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. I think this is something to do with Orion. This is something to do with the stars. Is that correct, Afeanean? So she's saying it's to do with the changing of the seasons and the winter solstice. It's the winter circle. The winter circle of stars. I think this is of significance too. Am I right? Are these sticks? So that was all clues at the scene, as it were. So that's showing us the winter solstice. But I have a feeling it's in reverse. Is that? Would that be looked at from underneath rather than on top? It's a mirror. It's a mirror. How fantastic is that, folks? How fantastic is that? So first of all, we have these, which are licorice, different flavours of licorice, and they're all done with natural colourings and then we have some hazelnuts, some apricots, walnuts, and Brazil nuts. So we're going to place that on the tree. So I've put all these things on the tree, all the fruit and the nuts and the licorice. We have the peanut butter with the seal still intact, and the incense sticks, and a little audience. Hello, friend. And some beautiful Braeburn apples, a mango, another mango. They are perfectly ripe at the moment, these mangoes, and some apples, and then the arrangement of these. Stick to the cross, I think. That's better if I put it that way. And that's the tree done. I love the shadows at this time of the year, the light and the shadows. Light is an amazing thing, how it affects our perception of what we see. So my first question that I want to ask Afeanean. Are the trees... Oh, hello. What are you doing up there, nosy crow? Are the trees providing energy to project the images that the people show of themselves to us from the other side of the veil? So are the trees... Will you listen to that? Look at that. Can't see what it is, but a crow just squawked before. So, Afeanean, what do you think? So she's saying, think of the trees like a battery, provider of energy, storer of energy, and so from wherever you are, wherever you're sitting, we can project ourselves into that area, into that space. So when I'm looking at an image and we see faces within that image, you could actually be 10 miles away. She says, well, we could be, but we're not. So she's saying trees, now we know this from our own thing, is they provide and help cleanse the oxygen, but she is saying, think of the trees as oxygen. The lifeblood. Everything that is needed to exist, regardless of life form. Wow. Thank you. So, slightly related to the same thing, Afeanean, are the imagery that we see of faces are they static? Can they move? So she's saying that the process of the movement is so fast we would never see it. So sometimes we might see an image of a face, say, right beyond that upturned tree, way up in the distance, tiny little face. And then as it comes closer to us, that face is tiny, then it gets bigger, then it gets bigger, and sometimes when I look back at, say, a photograph the size of this TV screen, if I did a thumbnail size photograph of that, the whole of the screen is covered with somebody's face, and it may have started off, just because you can see small versions of it way over in the distance. So I think what she's saying is start getting into technicalities about the speed of movement and the speed of light. I think that's where we start to get quite technical, but I suppose it's not really movement that is perceptive to our eyes. Those birds above my head are having a proper old go, aren't they? So, is your dimension that you live in, Afeanean, you reside in. 6th dimension, 7th dimension, she's saying. Is that a mirror image of our dimension, the 3D world? She's saying it is, it's exactly the same. Choose some funny words. She says, but we have accessories. We have some accessories. Accessories that aid our abilities. Are they natural? They are created. Some are natural, some are created. So that's like things that we create and industrialize. They must be able to create things. Natural resource, Sally, natural resource. She's saying things can be created by the power of thought. It's not like a fabrication, a factory that creates things. So does everything look and feel the same? And she says it does. Now this will probably answer why we see their facial imagery looking so different. Some looking from the ground up, some looking down, some looking sideways on. And what she says, it's like a tumble dryer effect. So when you land into another dimension by thought, you have no idea how it's perceived. She says it may look like you're upside down. It's a tumble dryer effect. That's her words. It's a tumble dryer effect. How do they know about tumble dryers? Oh dear. She's just said we don't need a tumble dryer. We manage just fine. This is what I love about their humour. It's wonderful. It really is. So, is Moth a communal meeting place for family to look in from wherever they reside? Because obviously they don't all reside here. It's a focal point. Now here we go. This is interesting. Because it's all pine trees, we are able to look in using that specific energy for visual thought. Wow, so the different trees have, or different genus of trees have a different energy. She's now saying, depending how they're purposed. Species that exist in our world, in the 3D, do they exist in their 6D, 7D? Yes, and more. So she's saying yes and more species. So she says all things that are lost to us have a home here. So they protect things that we have failed to look after, that we have, I guess, made extinct. Is that correct? Well, that is absolutely and utterly amazing. And also thank you. Thank you, Afeanean, for that. And she's saying it's my pleasure, my dear. So she's saying the answers aren't definitive. It's hard to go into great detail with our limited understanding, I guess. Particularly my limited understanding. And here we see this shape again. It's the right angle again. It's all to do with the winter solstice. So you said to me before about the changing of the season. So for us, when we have a clock change, daylight saving, it's at the end of October actually. And when that occurs, it slightly knocks your equilibrium off kilter. And this is why they have preparations for the winter solstice. And they were showing the winter circle of stars, because they just have a rebalance. Is it like a rebalance? And sometimes a recharge, recalibration. Wow. Well, thank you, Afeanean. Thank you for that. Look how still it is. And the birds have shut their beaks. Isn't that amazing? What about this, folks? What about that? How amazing is that? That's just beautiful. So we're back at our mother of the forest, grandmother of the forest, this lovely tree. Or grandfather of the forest. Now that has broken. That was not so. And I don't see any cow damage around here. She's saying it was no longer needed. So the energy has been repurposed. Right. Right. Okay. Well, folks, from here at Moth, in an afternoon of beautiful long shadows, I'd just like to say thank you, a very big thank you to the people, and in particular to Afeanean for assisting me, for allowing us to come here. And it's been enlightening, and I've really enjoyed it. And we might do some more questions and answers in this way, if you would like that to happen. So thank you. Be kind in word, thought, and deed. And we'll catch up with you next time. Okay, bye.